elimination matchup. The Blue Zerg representing Team Liquid. It is Elazer.
And ever since its inception in mouse sports, it is HeRoMaRinE. Big Gabriel. That's not really true. I think mouse sports was is a little bit older than Big Gabe has been in it, but he is probably the longest standing member of mouse sports at this point by a landslide.
Yeah, absolutely. He's been the longest tenured for sure. But yeah, mouse are kind of
maybe
an old
the longest esports player in any team, if you really think about it.
Yeah, there's definitely a discussion
be?
because I think it used to be TLO with Team Liquid, or at least we thought maybe there was like a couple other guys, but like definitely up there for sure. It's interesting, right?
Yeah.
Because obviously StarCraft 2 has just been around for that long, and for it's maybe not quite the inception of esports, but the inception of esports as we know it, right? So yeah, a lot of these guys,
pretty much,
that were from on a team for a long time since the start, kind of do set those records a little bit.
Yeah, which there's very few of, especially if we just count like teams that kind of have expanded outside from StarCraft and stuff like that, which I think it would be the only measure that would really count for, like for esports in general. It's like, everyone knows mouse sports, everyone knows Team Liquid.
Yeah.
And yeah, these are all their oldest players, which is awesome.
Yeah, that's freaking cool, man. It's freaking cool. I honestly sometimes just think like, man, it's so incredible because like you don't just make it, get to a point like this easily, right? Like StarCraft has gone through so much, and we've had so much history behind it, right? And like it's kind of something special when you have so much history and you can relate back to things and like moments and eras and stuff. I don't know. I just thought it was something that was really cool, and it's always grabbed me fondly or so.
No, absolutely love
I
it.
don't know. It's just like I love of StarCraft, man. I know what I'm really trying to say. It's just a cool game. You guys should keep watching it.
No, I completely agree. Yeah, I mean, it's not many games have the longevity that StarCraft has had. That's for sure. And to see it like still getting some love from, not so much developers, but ESL and the players and whatnot. And it's been awesome. And it's gonna stick around, right? It's just an easy, cool, fun game to watch, and it never gets old.
What also never gets old is that Reaper Maker at the start of the game. Going to start up right here and come through, going after a couple of Lings right away. It's just going to start putting some pressure on to begin with. And now just going to move back over to this side. A couple of Queens are here. Reaper will take a little bit more damage. Now hopping down to the low ground. A couple of CCs are coming up as well, so just getting those brought into play. It's going to take us to 3 commencers straight away. HeRoMaRinE not messing around in that regard. He's just macroing it straight on up.
Yeah, for sure. The Reaper does get old though, like whenever it kills just one Zergling, pisses me off. I kill a drone, then I shout,
It gets old if you're a player. From a viewer's perspective, it's just a thing of beauty,
For sure.
You're just like, it's not beautiful at all, man.
Yeah. One of the queens protects the other one so that she may drop the creep tumor. So no angle here for the Reaper. Very beautiful grenade there in the middle of both of them. Will bounce them back. But to no avail, nothing extra coming out of this. Elazer making an extra 4 Zerglings, however, so he wants to have like a contingency plan against Hellion Rambites and the likes. And if that is the case, I mean, he will be rewarded handsomely. But if that's not the case, you might have preferred for those to be drones.
Yeah, no, that's true. Drones are typically nice to have, as we do get a crew team of that. It's always a great grab as well. So nice to just nab that just before we run out of juice on those Hellions, and before it got a little bit too high, because to be fair, it wasn't really likely those Hellions were going to get much, not straight away at least. But yeah, they managed to nab a creep tumor. Is now Reaper Hellion just going to rotate back around the other direction, so around they go, as the Hellions and the Reaper just sit tight.
Yep, and the Lynx are just going to be waiting for any transgressions from them, but it's not going to happen. And there's only the 2 Hellions out on the map, with 2 just looking out for potential Ling Rambites, which also did not happen in this particular game. Elazer now going up to a lair to try to transition into the mid game, where he is so very adept. And on the other side, Big Gabriel looking to get his first set of medevacs, so that we might see a little bit more aggression come this mid game as well.
Yeah, medevacs, Marines, that stim pack is all on the way up. Our Hellions and the Reaper will join toward the center and just get a creep tumor as we go as well. It's just going to be grabbing that nice and quickly. And just
very nice here.
Very chill, man. A couple of medevacs coming through. That orbital command's going to lift off, move over to the third base as well. So we just get that straight over to that side. Both these engineering bays continue up as well. And just getting those in the back of the main as we have ourselves, honestly, a pretty cozy start from HeRoMaRinE. You know, he's been denying some creep. He's been the only one on the map. You know, found a couple of lings. I feel like he's going to be pretty darn happy with how things have set out so far.
Yeah, but Elazer can't be too sad either, right? Like nothing much has happened on his end either, and he is actually going for a roach attack with roach speed pretty fast here. Double Evo chambers leads me to believe that actually he's not gonna be looking to hit with roach speed. So maybe just looking or anticipating that HeRoMaRinE is gonna look to put on some aggression and that he has to absorb with it, and then maybe we hit with 1-1 or 2-2 or something of the likes.
Yep, as the queens are right there, they're just going to be able to push this back. As, to be fair, I think HeRoMaRinE happy to just, you know, take a creep tumor down if he can. He's not really looking to do serious damage right here. Let's just see how Hellions back into the center. So chilling out on the creep spread. The Marines hanging around. And yeah, just going to load up the dropship, which makes sense. Probably get some drops to the left-hand side soon. And just keep on pressuring. You know, you want to hold back this creep and make the next stage of this game as playable as possible for yourself.
Yeah, I wonder if Elazer just didn't have the right read. Like, looking at his vision, he didn't really, like, see inside of the main of HeRoMaRinE at all. He didn't see the third either, so maybe he was expecting some sort of two-base aggression. That's where the roaches really shine. Because the upgrades that he's getting is not even to transition his roaches, it's for the circlings predominantly as well. So he seems like he just wanted roaches to absorb an attack, and HeRoMaRinE on the other side is very, very happy just kind of macroing up and taking his third, so that attack is not going to come.
No, not going to come. Infestation Pit finishing from Elazer, obviously playing the roaches initially, but now moving into those melee upgrades, just going to start looking towards potentially Hive Tech. I'd be surprised if we saw a couple of Infestors move onto the map already.
That would be cool.
But yeah, that is just the Hive. It would be cool, but it's the sort of thing that's just a little too expensive to justify, right? At least a lot of the time it feels a little bit too expensive to justify, but, you know, someone like Dark would make it work. That's the thing, right?
Yeah, Dark would make it work for sure. I think Scarlet would have made a couple Infestors. Maybe Serral would have. Elazer is just not the type of player to add Infestors. But he added Ravagers. So, you know, like instead of 2 Ravagers, he could have made an Infestor. He made 4 of those.
He's making 7 Overlords right now.
He will go for a very quick Hive. This is true. That is a very Elazer thing to do.
Yeah, that's the Elazer play, baby. Scrap the Infestors, get the Overlords on the go. And as he gets on supply block, he will just drone it, so he's just looking to hit his max economy here. As Ling Ravager continues to settle back from Elazer. A few more roaches still around that right-hand side as well, so just all of this continuing to get settled for a little bit further. As we do have the Marines, the medevacs coming back over the right-hand side, the Marines off the left-hand side too, so we are split pushing. And that right side hatchery probably just goes down. If HeRoMaRinE just focuses it, he should be able to get that in plenty of time. That's a kill, not a cancel as well, so a little bit of added pain for Elazer.
Indeed, and Elazer was looking to hold the ramp here with the Ravagers, but the Marines are going to just go on forward here. The Queens are in front. Baneling speed not yet done, 75% of the way done or so. And the Ravagers do get beautiful biles onto 2 clumped up tanks, so that's really nice. That's going to encourage them to continue to move on further. The Banelings maybe overstepping the mark a little bit, but with the Queens here, Elazer should be plenty fine.
Yeah, I think he should be fine as well. Bane speed would just help that little extra. He is trailing a lot of units into this, just trying to finally push it back once and for all. Just taking a little while longer, and like you mentioned, the natural, there's a bit of harassment going on, although Elazer hasn't lost drones throughout this, so if nothing else, he's been able to get units in the right places. HeRoMaRinE going to back away from this one. What's the efficiency been like? 4.6 to 3.4k? Honestly, not that bad. I could have very easily seen it being worse with how this was going.
No, this was great for Elazer, I think, right? And in the sense that he was basically maxed out on roaches, so trading for him as he is looking to transition into better upgrades, into a quick Hive, etc., is pretty great in my opinion, especially if you're not adding like Infestors and your roach composition is not really growing. Because HeRoMaRinE still had time to grow in terms of, you know, just army size and whatnot and army complexity, and Elazer kind of has to waste those units, so he's going to be very happy with this sort of trade. Makes use of his initial tech, and now with Vipers out, things are going to improve considerably.
Yep, Vipers, spellcasters really do go a long way, and these Vipers are going to be full of energy as well. Even just parasitic bombs on the medevacs, there's a couple that are guaranteed kills if they get bombed right now, so that's just good pickups because it reduces the ability for HeRoMaRinE to stick here and just reinforce and go and go and go. Ultra's on the way too, so another great stepping stone into the later stages for Elazer, although HeRoMaRiNE's also prepping with some ghosts of his own right now.
Yeah, look at those medevacs though, so juicy, the clump that you were mentioning there, and now the Marines are gonna stem up the ramp. There's no infestor here, otherwise they would have gotten so hard punished. There comes the first couple of parasitic bombs onto the cluster of the medevacs, which are gonna have to spread. This is the opportunity that also Elazer is gonna take, which is beautiful, because HeRoMaRiNE is preoccupied pre-spreading his medevacs, so difficult to spread medevacs and Marines at the same time. Get some decent bailing shots on the back of it, and should be able to clear this out with the Ling reinforcements, as well as making confidently 2 Ultras that are unlikely to partake in this particular engagement. But it just shows that he thinks he's held pretty much.
Yeah, I think he has. He already had a couple Ultras out as well, so he's absolutely going to push this away. HeRoMaRiNE's going to have to go back to the reproduction lines, and definitely needs some ghosts as well, but also just needs to rebuild everything he had here. And the medevac count really got slaughtered. Exactly what you said was a great point, that because the parasite bombs came down, he had to split the medevacs, but then he also had to split the units, and in combination, he never really, he didn't really do either of them well. So a lot of medevacs went down, splashing each other, and a lot of the units kind of took bailing shots they kind of would have liked to have avoided. It was just a messy fight where HeRoMaRiNE was kind of caught, I don't want to say underprepared, but just he didn't live up to the moment, right, where there was a lot happening all at once, and Elazer really kind of pressed him for that.
Yeah, and that's where you want to pre-plan for the moment, and that's where like a player that's on top of things. Like the reason I went ooh during the fight is because he clumped up the medevacs when he has already seen Vipers. Your medevacs should not be clumped up once you've seen Vipers, right? That's the mistake. It's not that he didn't manage to spread them fast enough. It's that they were in the that's a nice bailing shot. Is that in the first place they weren't pre-spread and they should have been.
It's just a funny bailing shot, because it's like you see a burrowed banelings and you expect to see big things, and then it was mostly marauders. So yeah, it did damage, but nothing really blew up as it usually would. Anyways, these ultras continue forward. It does feel as though Elazer continues to push HeRoMaRiNE back. Still struggling to get to base number 5, though. He may get it up on the right side this time. That's definitely been one of his biggest struggles so far.
No doubt about that. And yeah, HeRoMaRiNE going for Widowmine upgrades as well here to burrow a little bit faster. The Drilling Claws, which is interesting given that Elazer is now transitioning into Ultras and has been kind of roach heavy, so that's not gonna do all that much. And HeRoMaRiNE seems to agree in the sense that he's going for a tank, so maybe just feels like he can afford it and wants it in case there is some sort of switch, or in case Elazer focus more heavily into Ling Bane. One of those Ultras very low. The army of Elazer is actually thinning down quite a bit here. That's not the ideal place to fight if you are Elazer. Very wide open space for HeRoMaRiNE, and again, a lot of these Ultras already in the red. This is looking very dangerous, Wardicho.
Yeah, no, it really is, man. I feel as though HeRoMaRiNE's been playing with kind of the end of an army for such a long time. That Parasite Bomb should get split. Oh my god, we lose a full medevac. That Parasite Bomb was not on. That was a shame. We nearly lose another as well. A couple of Widow Mines will slow down the chase of Elazer, although he is on that chase, and he wants to try and see if he can catch anything popping out of those medevacs, but HeRoMaRiNE is just on the way home. We've seen a lot of very exciting engagements, like a lot of back and forth. Oh, whoa. Wait, what?
I'm sorry. Yeah, infestors.
Oh,
like,
just that just being made?
Yeah, just being made. I was so excited because I was about to say if he makes infestors, he will be in such a good spot. Like, look at this army; it's so infestor friendly, but it's Elazer, so he's not gonna make infestors. This is what I was about to start saying, and then I saw infestors, so my mind shifted to infestors. So that's great.
I was
that's
like,
awesome.
My brain was like, wait, there's infestors? I was like, why the hell are they dying? Because it was that kind of a scream. And I was like, I didn't know there was infestors on the map, so I had no idea where to start looking.
No. It was just like, whoa, Elazer is gonna go infestors and vipers in the same game. That's wild. I'm not even sure that he has the hotkeys for that. I'm not even kidding. Like he, I know that in the past he didn't have both hotkeys allotted for them, and so it might be tricky for him to do. But I love to see that he is going in this direction, because it is definitely the right unit to make here.
Yeah, I'm with you, man. Let's see, these couple of infestors are going to come sneaking by, so there they are. Now we can get excited about them, because they could pop up, drop a big fungal growth, and then obviously just follow through from that. That's a real possibility, especially right now as you're trying to retreat away. The infestor pops, it drops the fungal, it's going to block the units in the back. Parasitic bomb as well. And that was not a bad play at all from Elazer on the right side. Not too much happening. Yeah, fun stuff happening now. This game has been a banger to start us off, cats.
Yeah, I love it. I mean, that infestor was very not like, he unburrowed in the middle of the entire army of HeRoMaRiNE. So if HeRoMaRiNE was just paying attention, clicks it and it dies, and maybe even before it drops the fungal. So, but it works out, right? And he does get a chunk on retreat, and it looks good. And this game continues on, which has been a very back and forth, very contested game. I love it.
Oh my goodness, these units blocked that attempted build of his CC, and then it was blocked so long it didn't even build. So HeRoMaRinE with some money not quite spent, as he is looking to set up CCs. He is looking to set up the Fusion Core, Liberator range, and just a late game here in general is his go-to right now as this little bit of bio comes forward. We do see them Ultras taking a chance to get in. The Ghost getting stuck. The Infestor comes in again, drops a Fungal in the back. As honestly, the unit's pushing forward. If those Ultras were a bit healthier, he would have gone all the way through. Now he's going to lose everything.
Yeah, for sure. It's unfortunate. At some point, he lost a lot of the Queens. He still has had 4 on the map, so there's definitely some repairing pits there for those Ultras somewhere. Instead, here in the middle of the map, he's going to lose so much and so much ground. And yeah, I mean, maybe Elazer should look to just chill a little bit, but that's not kind of his thing, right? Like, we're entering kind of like areas of the game that are normally outside of his domain in this very late game where he's adding those spellcasters, etc. And HeRoMaRinE, I think, is going to be a little bit more comfortable come this stage.
Yeah, I think so too, and well, we see the scans preemptively as well. He's aware of the potential burrowed banelings, so HeRoMaRinE is on top of the tricks that Elazer is trying to pull off right now. As that bio pushes through, the Feelings will start taking damage. A Baneling just got shot off over that left-hand side. Vipers come through, the Ultras as well. Ling's also coming by as the Blinding Cloud goes down to just block a few of those units in place.
Yeah, beautiful Blinding Cloud's really nice. HeRoMaRinE shot as well onto a clump of Banelings there. And now a lot of Ultras here, but they're a little bit scattered. Elazer probably wants to attack his Elazer, so he's going to go in. I'm not sure that this is the best idea, especially with Ghost popping up. Those Ultras are going to be taxed. And this has kind of been the problem for him, but can he break through right now? I mean, that would be awesome. There's very few Marauders actually on the field, and only one of the Ghosts that gets lifted off. So hey, Elazer doing Elazer things here. He's gonna force a lift off onto all of the CCs. On the other side, HeRoMaRinE does punch back with a little squad of units. Very weakened medevacs that could be taken down by parasitic bombs, but all in all, very good moments for Elazer actually.
I mean, yeah, this game was not really in a good place for Elazer at all, but this one fight has definitely changed our perspective on that just slightly. 4 Ghosts still on the map. Now actually only 2, so we just lost 2 Ghosts, and that means that I think they're in the medevac. So that's going to be 2 more Ghosts dead. Only 2 Ghosts available against this many Ultras. That's scary, Cats. I know we've got some Marauders, but they usually need that sniping support.
Yeah, very scary. However, as HeRoMaRinE continues to build up, it's going to get scary again for Elazer. So, yeah, Elazer is just on go mode. Let's see if he can get a little bit more damage, because those Ultras are starting to bleed out. And this has been a problem for him, where the Ultras are bruised up, they're backed away, and on paper you have a bunch of Ultras, but in reality you have a bunch of half Ultras, and then they die a lot quicker. These Lings do find the damage that he was looking for, though, so the game will be more or less equalized yet again, which is wild, and I would love to see more Infestors again.
Man, absolutely just scrappy back and forth game. These two are just throwing everything they can find in their back pockets at each other. As, yeah, just work is going down. HeRoMaRinE only has 37 SCVs left, so his economy is not exactly great, but he does have a bunch of CCs, so additional mules to help supplement the mineral income. And Elazer is just kind of stuck on this composition that ain't quite it for the late game, right? If you ask a Zerg where they want to be late game, you know, having to keep on rebuilding Ultras on repeat with limited spellcasters usually isn't it. And maybe that is more Elazer style, but yeah, there's a reason why it's struggling to kind of take a game-ending fight when it looks good for him at points.
Yeah, exactly. A lot of the time you would want those brutal transitions, or just a little bit Baneling heavier army, or at least some more Infestors, right, to aid the Ultra so that you can get those catches. But hey, if he continues to catch little squads of units like this, if he continues to land good parasitic bombs onto the medevacs and resets the counts to where the Ultras are a very strong force, then it's great. If HeRoMaRinE can situate himself to where he starts getting like his Liberators out, which he's getting the range for, where he can start getting and fortifying some position with Ghosts and Snipes, then this army will fall off the wayside very quickly for Elazer. But for now, as long as he keeps resetting things, as long as he can keep the pressure on, this is still very much a very highly contested game.
Yes, it is. As you see, our bio still pushing up this hatchery top side. We'll take some extra shots. It is going to go down. The bio coming through, and the Lings is going to have to back it up a little bit as well. The Queen's still chasing those medevacs and punched all the way back once again. So just going to get chased away. The scrappiness almost supports what Elazer is doing in a big way, but obviously it's just a messy game, Cats. You know, it's one of those great games of StarCraft as this planetary fortress may finally go down. The spellcasting continues. Bottom right, this base is gone. Top left, this base is gone. And, well, the answer is who's going to have anything to stop the other guy? Apparently no one has nothing to stop the other guy.
That's exactly what it is. I mean, bases are gone all over the place, and who's taking the better trades is very difficult to say. I mean, neither player is really mining off of anywhere. There's the bottom base, the bottom base for HeRoMaRinE, I guess, is the healthiest base on the map. That one and the one next to it, which is pretty much mined out, but it's still the healthiest base on the map as far as income is concerned, which is absolutely wild. Because Elazer is just distant mining at the moment.
Yep. As this bio runs in, Hatchery taking some big shots. Oh my goodness,
Nasty.
I just came over here and saw a
H.
flurry of mules landing down. 41 SCVs killed. HeRoMaRinE only has 16 workers left. Medivacs are getting caught again. That's a full Medivac parasite bomb. That's dead. Another one. Oh my god.
I mean, that's so wild. Yeah, this is like a movie where you see the mules landing and you like your heart sinks for a laser, and then you look at the Medivacs and they start exploding one at a time. All of the full ones. This little link contingency is gonna put on some more damage. And when all is said and done, Guardicio, in 3, 2, 1, we will say the name of the player we think is going to win this game. 3, 2, 1, Elazer. Oh, come on.
You think Elazer?
All right. I think Elazer, look at this. I mean, it's been good. The infestors are here, man. He could neural parasite each of those marauders.
He's going to neural parasite each marauder. That would be a game to witness.
Look at
As
that.
the fungals, though, were huge. I still don't think it's enough, man. He doesn't have enough follow-up. These Marauders, if they have any HP left on them, will just chase this down because Elazer is absolutely strapped for any sort of units at this point.
Yeah, and again, like really showing that, oh, gee, no, wait, what? No way.
Yeah, man.
Was he done? Was
Yeah,
he down and out?
He doesn't have any army supply, and he doesn't have hatcheries to build.
I see.
He's got drones, but he ain't got nowhere to mine with them drones. You know?
Them drones. I mean, that was so anticlimactic. It looked like the infestors were putting on so much work.
I mean, they did. The infestors, don't get me wrong, the infestors started off well over there. It's just, there was no follow-up. If there was any amount of units, then those infestors fungling like that probably, like, closed the game out. But, yeah, you need other units.
And the Medivacs dying to the Vipers? What happened to those Vipers? Where did they go?
The cats, there's too much going on. I don't know where the Vipers ended up, man. Like, no, that's so sad. This was a crazy game.
Just one Ultra being transfused. Yeah, it was such a close game, such a cool game. I really enjoyed it. So scrappy, like you were saying, and just a very Elazer, but also not out of character for Big Gabe, right? Like he is kind of like a mid to late game oriented player, and that's kind of where this entire game was played. It felt like, and it was so fun.
No, that's true.
Very fast paced.
Yeah, they both kind of. We never saw that like ultra late game of there was so many ghosts that was just sniping everything. Like we always had some ultras involved. The spellcaster count was never really crazy. I mean, it got craziest at the very end there. That was the most infestors or even spellcasters in total that we saw on the map at one time. So, yeah, it got caught in the mid game, and that definitely benefited Elazer in a lot of ways because there's a lot of fights that maybe should have ever gone his way, but because it was so scrappy, it made his army better. And the Terran, you know, didn't really kind of trade well against a lot of those ultras that found like little groups and little squads to kind of trade with. That was a great game to start us off, and these guys are not needing any break at all. They're just right back into it. Bottom right side, down a map in this best of 5 is the Blue Zerg representing Team Liquid. It is Elazer.
And in the top left-hand side, his opponent leading the series 1-0 for Mousesports. It is HeRoMaRinE.
HeRoMaRinE, like that one.
Big Gabriel. He's a beast. Really enjoy hanging out with Big Gabe. Looking forward to it in Atlanta. We're gonna have to come out with us. We know a karaoke place. Where did you?
You know a karaoke place?
We know a karaoke place that's also a diner in Atlanta, and yeah, it's amazing. Like we filled it up with StarCraft people last time. Everyone was singing West Virginia and stuff. You know, like, almost heaven. It was great.
Sounds like you're gonna have a good time, man.
Yeah, we're gonna have a blast. It's gonna be great.
Fun. Hatchery, drones coming up, Rex and the gas coming through. As it just have almost. I mean, it's nice to see a bit of peacefulness, right? Because we just had non-stop action for the last 15 minutes. I would say that was wild.
Yeah, that was wild indeed. And yeah, this map is very peaceful. I mean, yeah, peaceful. You say peaceful. You follow the Overlord into a little beautiful pond here of where life is, you know, coming to fruition.
That's where the Marines go on vacation, man. They come over here.
I like it.
They can't quite afford to go to the ocean. Terrans don't pay well, but they can go to the little pond in the middle of a war zone, you know.
Yeah. I like it quite a bit. I've been watching Morgan Freeman explain the origins of life to me in various documentaries and been really enjoying it. So that's kind of what I feel right now for this particular spot of Earth. I guess it's not even Earth, some alien planet out there.
Alien planet. Yeah, I don't even know what. I mean, it looks so normal, this map, though, right? Like, it's
It
just
does, yeah.
kind of chill. Reaper pops. Goes across the map. Time to ruin all that chill vibes that we got going on, cats.
Hate him. As we see the exclamation marks in the middle, indicating danger as the Reaper flies. Or hovers, or whatever he does, runs. It must be somewhat of a mix. Towards the middle line now, he's gonna find a couple of drones, gonna bob a couple of drones, but the links are here to answer, so the Reaper will not get too much. And actually, those drones absorbing a little bit of damage may make it so that Elazer ends up not losing any circlings. HeRoMaRinE trying to find the high ground vision there by wiggling around at the ramp, but Elazer very good at withstanding, and yeah, not gonna lose any links right now, so yeah. Perfect start.
Great way to get things going is just have a factory coming up, RCC's coming through, and just going to be seeing where we go. It's 3CC as well, so obviously just going to be having that similar build to the last time to begin with, at least. We'll see if that changes up at all. Maybe if he does take any different turns than he did last time. See some possibility there, so questions to be asked. At the moment, still Reaper just chilling out in the bottom right.
Yep. Reaper's gonna be chilling, and yeah, I'm so happy to have seen Elazer go for Infestors. I wonder if we're gonna see more of that. I wonder if we're gonna see a Roach opening again, which seemed to be kind of a safety measure for him. But Elazer can be the type of player that kind of like can grind certain styles, and I was a little surprised to see that he didn't get much scouting information to make decisions off of in the last game. So I wonder if HeRoMaRinE is kind of his go-to when he doesn't have information. Maybe the Overlords got sniped or something like that, or if he wasn't looking for information because, you know, HeRoMaRinE is just kind of his go-to. I'm not sure. I could see either one being the case from Elazer.
Yeah. No, there's definitely plenty of options here. That's for sure. Is Reaper and a couple of Hellions. Just gonna chill about. As you see, Liberator, Hellions, Tech Lab coming in, people coming through. Yeah, just not chilling at the moment as Hellions come back around the left. A couple of Queens get there, and the Reaper and the Hellions get pushed back once again, so not going to be able to find their way through just yet.
Not just yet. Someone said my microphone is still doing Morse code. You still hear that?
No, but you just got quieter, so I can turn you up.
I lowered it a little bit too.
Oh, that's okay. I can turn you up on my side.
Oh, okay, perfect.
If it helps the Morse code on your side, then yeah, that works.
Yeah.
I haven't heard it for a little while.
Okay,
I heard it a little bit in the last game, but not for the last few minutes.
Okay, that's good. As the Liberator now makes his way, or her way, towards Elazer's natural base, there's going to be an Overlord to spot, and Hellions are not going to find too much in the middle here. Not much of anything, in fact. No energy for transfuse on the Queens, but the Hellions are not going to commit. The Liberator was spotted by the Overlord, but it's not going to matter too much. Going to kill 3 drones for free.
Yeah, I feel like this is a good start from HeRoMaRinE. Obviously, kind of gets caught there, but he gets out of it. Hellions will not get there to be able to deny any of the creep tumors. Yeah, I mean, this Liberator is doing a lot. Even going to... Oh, that was a horrible unsiege, because that could have been a Queen kill. I think we were out of transfusions, so... Yeah, that was just a completely unnecessary unsiege. As the Hellions in the center getting pushed around a little bit here and there as well. Yeah, it's the kind of unsiege that you know, like he just looked at his screen and was ready to unsiege, was taking damage, but didn't know from what. So he was taking a little bit more damage than he thought, like the spore was already there probably, which he didn't account for. And just reflex, and I'm sure instantly he goes, should not have done that. Should not have done that, as our Hellions and the Reaper make their way back down to the south, going to move into that 6 o'clock where there's already a hatchery, so... Based on the 6 o'clock here is going to get attacked. Reaper and the Hellions going to get busy on that straight away. And obviously shouldn't take it down. But hey, maybe you soften it up for later. Hydra's on the way quickly this time from Elazer, so a big difference to what we saw in that previous game. Yeah. And I like this. I think this is a little bit more Elazer as well. Like Hydras can be a little bit better at aggression versus the patch as well. They get to their upgrades a little bit quicker too, so... Maybe we can find something with the Hydras here. Definitely good creep spread as well from Elazer. He's done a good job of defending it against this many Hellions. So, yeah, transitioning into that mid-game stages that he is also good at. Yeah, No, it definitely gets him to that point. That's what I actually kind of like, I guess, about the yeah, I guess that's what I kind of like a little bit about the Hydras. Just kind of gets you into a strong mid stage, and you can be aggressive with those Hydras in the mid game. And it also feels like Hydras have a good transition too, where you can still be aggressive with them, and then suddenly, boom, you're on lurkers while having been aggressive. So maybe it gives you a bit of a better stance as you kind of deepen your game state. As we just have these Hydras actually for the moment really very aggressive, chasing this off. And try and trade with those units. So HeRoMaRiNE, now are they too far forward? HeRoMaRiNE's going to try and grab a couple. They're eating transfusions from the Queens, though, so good saving.
Yeah, very interesting moments there. The tank got controlled there for a second, so I think he was looking for a siege, and Elazer was looking for the siege to continue the engagement, I think, and then the siege never happened because HeRoMaRiNE sees the Hydras continuing to move forward aggressively, so he's like, I'm not gonna siege. And Elazer's like, are you gonna siege or not? But this continues on as one tank will get sniped, but now it's the Hydras that have overextended for it. And they will pay the ultimate price with their lives. And yeah, that's a terrible position now for Elazer.
Yep, that's a lot of creep going down here as well, as we clear out on the left-hand side. The Queens continue to move about. We move back down the bottom for a couple of moments. 1-1 melee upgrades, burrow upgrade, Hydra speed, and Baneling speed. All continuing in as our Zerglings get chased back over to the right-hand side.
Back over to the right-hand side we go. Very annoying position with the tanks as well for HeRoMaRiNE. He's often very good at these. Elazer is going to find the angle, however, where the tanks are unprotected by the bio, who gets owned off mostly by Queens. Not sure if that should have happened, but now the Queens are going to pay the ultimate price themselves. That is their lives. And yeah, that is rough for Elazer. He still has 4 Queens, luckily for him, and tons of links on the way, so he should be able to push this back no problem. But yeah, definitely damage has been done here from HeRoMaRiNE.
Yeah, no, he's definitely taking the lead. He's shutting down a lot of the Hydra count as well, which is one of the things we really liked for Elazer. So that's been kind of disappearing and kind of just going downwards trending downwards for a little while. That's pretty rough. As Marines, tanks, and medevacs continue to move around the right-hand side, figure out what they are going to do next, with those melee upgrades just now finishing.
Yeah, at least there's not a super annoying position for the tanks here. Maybe right behind those rocks. I mean, it's a little bit annoying, but not as much as the other side. Yet still, Elazer coming from a single angle is not going to help his case. This hatchery is done, so I think he would do good to disengage. But actually, he wants the engagement while the creep is still there. The Marines are going to stim back, and those tanks are going to deter the aggression.
A lot of SCVs dying on the other side of the map, by the way, as counterattacks from Elazer do connect big time. 28 workers, that's huge for him. Because before that, I mean, HeRoMaRiNE was in a great position economically. So massive counterattack goes down. That is a big deal. That is a big set of losses from Gabe. And maybe that's just what Elazer needs to help him out here, especially with Baneling speed. Now, we've never really seen a good amount of Banelings chasing down Terran Army this game. It's kind of like the last game, Cats. Like, it feels like Gabe gets a lead, and then it swings back into Elazer's favor. And then we're going to play out from there for a little while.
I like it. I like it. The game is already starting to get scrappy, and both players are so good at this kind of just trading punches in this stage of the game that we have now entered the mid game. So, so yeah, I expect more explosiveness here. I think Big Gabe made a little bit of a mistake last game being overly aggressive onto an Elazer that was going roaches, but this time around with Hydras and the potential transitions for Elazer, I don't mind Big Gabe trying to get more control of the game and get a hold of the game, especially this is a very good tank map. He's gonna get another actually no cancel again, so another kill. That is wild.
This keeps adding up, doesn't it? As on the left side, we clean up some creep, we back away a second. I'm just going to look to reposition elsewhere. All of this time, Elazer has only been on lair tech, so only just now Infestation Pit, only just now looking towards a hive. That's obviously a big kind of saving grace for HeRoMaRiNE as well, because it just makes his game so much easier to kind of play around, right? So, yeah, that's a big deal as Marine Tank moves out down to the south.
It does. There is at least no tanks on the high ground, which Big Gabe could be abusing a little bit better. He steps a little bit too far on creep. However, that's going to force the medevacs to load, and that means they're going to unload one at a time, exposing the tanks to the Hydra. So Elazer with a very nice capitalization there and cleanup of that engagement. So yeah, very well done. On the other side, there's a couple of medevacs that are trying to unload onto the natural, but they will also get deflected.
Yep. Absolutely, as Lings and Hydras going to turn back around. Marines, medevacs, and the tank continue around the left as well. Just going to go chasing. Those Hydras will be hunted. Going to grab a couple more of them as we go. So just able to nab a couple extras there. On the right side, the medevacs boosting away as the Hydras were there as well to make sure those medevacs wouldn't be able to do much else.
No, but Chelsea indeed, they'll get pushed back all the way home. And now if you're HeRoMaRiNE, maybe just chill for a little bit. He does decide to chill for a little bit at the Ghost Academy, just as we say that, and is adding Liberators as well. So I think, yeah, when you get pushed back this hard and this decisively on a couple of fronts, it's time to kind of just sit back, relax, and come back stronger.
No, I'm with you. I feel like a couple of these previous fights have only gone Elazer's way because HeRoMaRiNE has been very scrappy with how he's had to fight, and he's been just sieging up when Elazer's been ready to jump on him. And just doesn't really have enough to maybe hold his own as much. Those are some borrowed Balins. He nearly ran straight across. He misses them with the scan, though, so still danger looming right here, Cats. That's obviously a fairly dangerous position to be walking around right now.
Yeah, for sure. And if you're a Elazer, I was gonna say, yeah, don't stand there too long, because then it's gonna force another set of scans, right? Like if HeRoMaRiNE thinks he scanned through and he sees your army back, then he has no reason to scan again. But if you stick around, you could have reburrowed while you had, when your opponent no longer had vision of your army. So that could have been something that he could have utilized to his favor. Elazer, nice pickoff here on a medevac, a little bit of a freebie, as now he has reached tier 3. And is getting proper upgrades to follow.
Yeah, just Adrenal Glands plus 3 Carapace. You do see HeRoMaRiNE once again pushing down the left side. And he's adding on those extra CCs. He's already taken steps towards the later stages of the game right now. So getting that ready. Bane, Hydra, Ling backs up over to the right as well. The few Marines are going to come stimming over and chasing. And they're going to try and get some of these Banelings as the Marines just take a couple of steps back. And they'll be okay for themselves. The Viper's still coming through. Adrenal Glands plus 3. It feels like HeRoMaRiNE is the one getting a lot of the chasing done right now.
Yeah, it's looking pretty good for him right now. Really diligent as well with the scans. A couple of Liberators are going to be flanked by Hydras very slowly there. And on the back, at least a couple of tanks are going to get caught from the side of Elazer. So that's nice for him. He could have an opening to go for a counterattack, which would pretty much result in a similar game state as last time around. Instead, this time it looks like Elazer is happier trying to defend and trying to push the army back before trying for a counterattack. On the left, there's another engagement. On the right, there's an engagement as well. This is usually not favorable for Terran, as they have a little bit more microing to do during the fights themselves. But HeRoMaRiNE has positioned beautifully and will kite Elazer to death on both fronts, actually.
Yeah, no, he's doing a great job. Each of these fights is looking good. Maybe on the left side now, again, a little bit more overwhelmed as HeRoMaRiNE, but generally, man, I mean, he's still actually winning these fights. He is the one holding out, and he's the one pushing through. He does have 3-3 to 2-2 currently, which is obviously a pretty big helping hand as well, so that helps. And, well, now he might try and join things together and just go for one larger push, because it does feel as though he's fully powered up.
It does look pretty scary. These Vipers don't have much energy, but the Blinding Clouds are wonderful. So maybe if he can dislodge and clear these tanks and save most of his links, might want to unburrow those Banelings at this point. Every unit counts, and HeRoMaRiNE has been so good with the scan. So many Banelings have died actually while burrowed. It's kind of crazy as Elazer continues to try. I like that one Baneling burrow. That's worth a scan.
Yep. Nice little catch as the scan does find it at least, but yeah, Elazer just at least taking resources away from HeRoMaRiNE. Is 20 supply down. He kind of needs to keep up with his lava, and I'm sure it's tough, but injects need to keep coming through. Looks as though he's on top of them right now, but not on not on the 5th base. So again, just at that point where as well you're building so much Ling Bane, it's very lava intensive, the style you're playing. Sometimes that can be the problem that you're running into here.
Absolutely, and that's where the Ultras are going to help a lot in kind of spending that bank. So 3 of them on the way right now, as well as Ultra upgrades and +1 range as well, which I'm not sure that Elazer needs to add. It's almost like a panic. I want to spend my money right now. Look good in the casket, but let's see if it works out. Infestor's also on the way, so that's really nice. A little bit of a nice run by here too for Elazer, killing some additional SCVs and burrowing some links, which again, just 5 of them or so are going to be worth a scan, even if they get spotted right away.
The siege tank's actually going to catch the Lings going back, and funnily enough, those Lings actually do just run out, and they're just going to burrow elsewhere, trying to stay alive for the future. Now the tank's going to get caught, though, so Elazer capitalizing on something that wasn't going great for him. Blinding Clouds are going to be fairly annoying here as this Ultra tries to make its way through. Massive fungal growth! You're not wrong. The Banelings trying to now catch up and connect with those units following that fungal growth as well, and well, we are going to keep on chasing on in here. This Hydra force continuing to come in with the Ultras. Wow. My goodness, Cats, this game. These guys just keep playing wild StarCraft.
Yeah, and I absolutely love it. Now HeRoMaRinE is kind of in a position where I think he really needs to, you know, chill for a bit, get those ghosts out. I haven't seen very many of them. He made the Ghost Academy a while ago. There's a couple now on the field. Total of just a couple, just the 2. So maybe he would do well to chill. I think that this trading out on the map is kind of what Elazer wants right now.
Yeah, but you see a couple of the ghosts just having to lift up and back away. A couple of tanks there firing. The Ultra coming forward is going to get rid of that siege tank as the Hydras will continue in, and that's a nice blind cloud at least to minimize the cost of this push forward. Miss Micro on the medevac does not save any of those tanks.
Very unfortunate. The Infestor or one of them is going to be spotted here, so should be sniped as it moves out of range, but that means the next scan might catch its brethren as well. It doesn't, as HeRoMaRinE is merciful and scans only the north.
Yeah.
So a couple of Infestors here still hiding in a good position.
Yeah, I feel like it's funny though because HeRoMaRiNE's so alert about maybe not just Infestors but also Banelings from earlier, right? He is going to walk past these ones though, so that's not going to be a problem right now. Elazer can still use those to flank, but this base is going to go down again, so that's not going to be allowed to be retaken at all. And a few morphing Banelings even getting caught before they can finish their morphs.
Yeah, most definitely. And that's where Elazer has to be careful with the Infestor positioning. Like, they should always be off to the side, right? Because Baneling scans are different than Infestor scans in the sense that, like, Baneling scans are going to be on the path that you're going to be walking, where Infestors can be off the side, just like this. And beautiful fungals are achieved. A couple of medevacs will survive, but not much else. Actually, just the one medevac, if that at all, it will fall also. And now Elazer, with a very solid grasp on this game, can go fully on the counter offense and probably get a base or 2 for his troubles.
Man, this has been such a cool game as our Hydras, our Ultra will continue in. The Ultra is going to take a few more shots. It's going to go down. Bioforce firing. The Hydra's still taking hits as well. Ultras will continue through. As you see 20 S7 SCVs going down. Elazer looking to really try and take the advantage while he's got it, because this series has all been about just advantages changing hands. So Elazer doesn't want to give HeRoMaRinE the chance to take it back anymore. That's why he's right here. That's why he's not stopping, and he is right to do so. HeRoMaRiNE's losing so much of his economy. His units have to keep on evacuating. These Banes are just rolling by. They can open up the front door. Let these Lings, Ultra, and Hydras just continue through.
Yeah, this is going to be the closing moments of this game. There's not much that Big Gabe can do from here on out. As long as Elazer continues to reinforce, he's making an Ultra, he's making a bunch of Links, and Big Gabe is doing whatever he can to stay alive. But his medevacs are mostly out of energy, the Ghosts are out of energy, and yeah, he's pretty much out of gas here.
Yep, I would say so. Maybe these few Hydras get taken down, but the reinforcements when they arrive should be a bit too much. Cool. The Mule drop to try and block some bits and pieces in.
Block them, yeah. That would have been sick. And it's kind of like, it shows how desperate he is right now, and he should be. So, yeah, I mean, Elazer should be able to close this out with the next attack. He is getting Overlord speed, which is kind of wild. Ultralist drop harass, perhaps, the classics.
Yeah.
Go back to the basics.
That or he just wants his overseers to move with the army, man.
I guess.
Yeah, you know, just to be boring.
Yeah.
Just to be boring.
I mean, he has a lot of gas. What is he supposed to do with that? Like, probably just start a bunch of Vipers wouldn't hurt. Infestors
as well, right? Like, anything like that would be generally a good way to spend it, so... It's funny, though, because you're right. You know, Elazer, if he can get these bases to mine properly without these mines stopping him all the time as they take big hits, would be great. Another big fungal. A spellcasting really has been, funnily enough, the real game changer for Elazer, but now... That wasn't good enough, and Elazer is down in army supply and apparently just can't find the money.
This is insane, yeah.
How?
This is wild. Like, I thought he had this game in the bag. I mean, he was a good bit of supply ahead, but it seemed like he had broken the camel's back. Everything was out of energy.
Pets, I was casting game 3 already. Like, I was convinced this game was done, you know? Like, I was ready to intro them again, because he was pouncing. He had everything. What did HeRoMaRinE have? And a couple moments later, here we are, 30 army supply lead from HeRoMaRinE, making the low amount of workers, you know, work for him. Elazer, a lot of his drones are just oversaturated or having a long distance, and that's why he doesn't actually have as much income as it seems he should.
That's insane. I mean, maybe he ran out of he ran out of I don't even know what happened here. Maybe larva or something. It really felt like he could have ended the game, but it doesn't feel like it's an ended game by any means. In fact, it's HeRoMaRinE now pulling ahead in terms of supply after that Mulehammer at a fresh base, and the Elazer chasing a little bit too far. The mines are going to connect onto some links, and an Ultra here as HeRoMaRinE now confidently stepping forward. The Infestor does shield himself from the scan, but the Marauders are going to find him. which is going to force a suboptimal Fungal onto the army of an Elazer that is now looking like his back is against the wall and likely to very much lose this game right here, right now. Insane.
Actually insane, cats. Just what the hell? I have no words, really, as another Viper gets sniped down. I do not know what to tell you, honestly. This is actually ridiculous. Huh. Yeah.
I mean, Elazer did situate the bottom left-hand side base. He does have a... I mean, look at the worker count, right? It's 62 to 29. But Elazer is giga oversaturated and has this gas bank that it wouldn't hurt it wouldn't help him much to basically saturate more gases or spread his workers in those directions. He probably needs an extra hatch or something and a little bit of time to really start using his economy to the fullest, and then maybe there is a good shot if he can just fend off HeRoMaRinE one more time.
He has one Infestor left, and I feel like the strength of Elazer in these games has been the spellcasters, so to only see one Fungal available. Maybe two, if it gets the energy. Actually, there's a second one. There's just a bunch of Infestors popping, so never mind. He is fixing. I like that, because I think the Spellcasters have been the absolute saving grace for him. Here we go. We start to move in. The Ghost on the wrong side to snipe the Ultra, so that's a good start from Elazer. He begins to push HeRoMaRinE back, who will just kite away, but he's got to be careful not to kite too much, otherwise the Infestors will catch up, perhaps. Oh my goodness, he's going to turn onto the Ultra list.
With the Fungal is slightly behind.
The Ultra dies.
Beautiful pick off there.
Goodness.
Very important. I mean, the one Infestor with Fungal will land it onto a few units at the front. The Hydras could maybe turn around to pick those off, but they gotta be careful not to overextend, and there's no extra Fungals here to aid them. Those Infestors, I mean, usually huge targets, but in this game, there's so much gas floating around that Infestors without energy, you don't even care that much if you're a Elazer. You got some more on the way anyway.
Yeah, this is, yeah, I mean, this is just kind of crazy. Well, hang on a second. We got another fight coming out. Fungal Growth comes in. Ultra Marauders getting caught. The last few units getting caught. Surely this is it for Elazer. He's finally...
Surely this is it.
I mean, I think the big thing is as well, he got that bottom left base mining. That's just one of the things where he's finally had consistent income. He's actually been able to spend the money with the drone, or, you know, get the money that he deserves off the drones he had. Got a base for him, and that's just turned it around in the end. HeRoMaRinE maybe didn't strike soon enough. Yeah. A little bit too cautious, which it's easy to be considering the just mayhem that was caused throughout the course of this game.
Absolutely. I mean, less than the money that he deserves, to be fair, as there was 31 workers mining that base and no gases taken either, because again, he was floating gas, so why would he mine gas? But yeah, what an insane game. And it really felt like HeRoMaRinE had turned things around to where he could have maybe ended the game when there was like one Ultra, Circlings, and nothing else. And you have Ghosts, Medevacs, and Bio. I feel like maybe HeRoMaRinE could have actually ended the game right there and then too. So just incredible back and forth, but yeah, so difficult to read as well. Like you were saying, like so many workers that go to work as soon as that base is up, completely oversaturated, but over time it was good enough for Elazer.
That's actually just crazy, man. What a wild time.
I want to look at those graphs.
Yeah.
Can't look at those graphs, can I?
Don't? No.
No, because they hide their match
Yeah,
history.
if you already step off of it, then yeah, you can't go back.
I stepped off of it. Oh, what a shame.
Should have stayed on it. Alright, just checking the players already, as obviously we've just had some long back-to-back games, but they really do not need anything more of a break than just going between map to map, so on we go. As we get ourselves counting down.
Yeah, I hope we get more of that. I mean, this is such a stylistic best of between these two, where it's just kind of, that's where we get the fireworks, is the mid game and late game and non-stop action and both players just punching at each other and wave after wave. You know, it's like it's so much back and forth in this particular matchup, it seems.
Yeah, no, these two just absolutely swinging and hitting each other each and every blow. It feels like no one can kind of dodge a shot, right, or like preemptively deal with something.
No one can block, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So it's just full on offense is in the bottom right corner. Elazer is going to open us up on hard lead.
And on top left-hand side, his opponent, HeRoMaRinE, also on hard lead.
Convenient that they both spawned on the same map.
Convenient indeed. This beautiful carpeted floor, the main base.
It's carpeted?
I like it. You can tell more here.
I guess so.
Kind of, right?
Yeah,
I like it.
I can see it. What do you think about this map, Cats? How you been enjoying it?
The carpet is out of place for sure, because there's dirt, like a lot of dirt outside if you think about it. So, yeah. But the map itself, I mean, it's fine. It's a fairly normal map. Not anything too crazy. I don't see no golds, no purples. The layout is not, you know, not anything that we haven't seen before. I like the forward base more than any other base on this particular map, but otherwise pretty normal, I would say.
Forgot about the carpets.
Or is there something you love? Yeah, the carpets
no,
are
no,
great.
I love
the
the
rocks are
comment.
cool too.
I love the comment about the carpets because I'm just thinking, man, it sucks enough to get like 13-12, but now the Lings are going to drag mud in on their feet as well, and you got a carpet to clean after
That's
losing the
what I'm
game.
saying.
You're right, man.
It's actually, yeah, it's so poorly designed. Yeah. As far as the carpet is concerned, like they have like this little area where you have this little area like by the main where you can actually wipe your shoes off a little bit. You see it? Yeah.
Yeah, it's
So there's that thought, but it's like for the Lings and your enemy, they're not gonna care that much. So
it's ridiculous. I love it.
it's ridiculous.
I love it. Oh. Reaper's coming up again. Consistency so far from HeRoMaRinE in terms of his builds, right? Just 3cc, getting to Hellions, not really turning up the aggressive thing, you know, the aggression too much straight away. So yeah, being pretty chill for him in that regard.
Yes, indeed. And Elazer on the other end. I mean, once he lost Ling on the first game, second game he didn't lose nothing. This game, will he lose anything? Drone again tanking, so the Lings are timed for the drones to tank a little bit of shots, it seems. Last time around, there was a ramp to play around, so I would expect a little bit more damage coming out of the Reaper. If we must talk about...
Oh! There you go.
Huge.
Huge, you called it.
Should not happen, yeah.
A little bit more damage, gets a whole drone.
Yeah. That's massive, actually. Should not. Ramp or no ramp, it should not happen.
Reaper hopping on up, hopping on down. Hatchery on the way already on that forward base. Getting that third up and running. And it's going to be that Ling speed coming in from Elazer as well. So just getting himself that Ling speed, getting himself his setup on the map here early. As you wait to see what it is that HeRoMaRinE wants to do for the moment, though. 3cc starport. It's just looking very similar to what we've already seen in these games from him.
Yeah. People are still saying audio interferences. I really want to fix it. I feel so bad. I don't hear it on my end.
It came up a little bit just at, like, probably when we were in the break, I guess, between games.
Oh, I see.
It just came in slightly there as well. It's kind of wild.
Okay.
It's
That's kind of wild because I can't hear it. So yeah, sorry about that.
Yeah, it's just sort of.
I'll get a new audio interface or something. Gotta fix it somehow.
Audio is the most frustrating thing. I had a my issue was I had a random beep. Like every now and then it would just like make like an ear deafening beep, like screech almost. And
yeah,
I couldn't hear it. It only went out on my stream. I couldn't record it or anything. It just went out on my stream. And I couldn't
oh, that's so
I couldn't fix it. And it was annoying because it only happened like maybe twice every 2 weeks. And then it would just stop for a month and then it would come back, so you don't know if it's ever been fixed or if it's just waiting for the next time to happen, you know? So audio's not fun, man. Never fun.
Not a fan of audio.
You fan of
Cloak Banshees I am a fan of. Yeah, of course. They are they're very, very fast. Sound of speed. I like the way they hover as well. Very good design, the Banshee. Very easy to tell that it is a Banshee indeed. But it won't be crossing just yet. It will be spotted by the Ling though, so that might actually prompt it to move out on the map if it was waiting for its sister before. On the other side, Elazer is going to start a lair instantly upon seeing the Banshee. Probably just to try to get overseers, but if he recognizes with the Banshee already out, he might be under a little bit of trouble if it crosses the map, so we'll drop those spores.
Yeah, getting those spore crawlers down, just get those going immediately. A few Hellions from the right-hand side. Queens are there, just going to deflect the Hellions pretty quickly. I'm just going to turn those back around. The extra spores are coming in. The Lair's about to finish. 8 more drones producing. The Hellions will take the watchtower for a couple more moments. As we just have, I guess, without the Banshees making a play just yet, not really a lot going on. Interference Matrix started, but actually it was meant to be Hyperplay Rotors because we're building factories and we are building mech. Wow.
Yeah, it's going to be a mech game as additional Banshees are going to continue to be produced, so don't expect Big Gate to stop anytime soon. And here's where Elazer would really benefit from making a decision perhaps into Muta or definitely Hydras at the very least, as there's going to have to be an answer for these Banshees. And once Hyperflight rotors are out, I mean, nothing on the ground can really keep up. So Muta kind of become really, really strong, or Infestors or something of the likes that is a little bit more unusual of a choice. Instead, it's going to be the Hydra then. So with good positioning, he could at the very least deflect the Banshees. But yeah, they can get outrun. They can get outmaneuvered. So he has to be really careful.
Yep, that's 4 drones going down. The Hellions will escape back out the left side. You do have the Hyperfly Roars still coming up. I like it, Cats. I love the switch up from HeRoMaRinE. And Elazer going to go for the Hydra Den, which I like at least to some extent, but if Abe gets to Blue Flame, and this is just Ling Hydra, and there's any amount of Hellions, like, then you got to be kind of worried as a Elazer. Then you got to be a little bit more careful with what you're getting done, so not sure I love the position for him right now. I guess we'll see what changes as Hellions and Reaper continuing out down to the bottom, and they're going to try and dive by these Queens and get into the natural. Hello.
Yeah, good preemptive splits here on the drones from Elazer, but actually all of his links coming from the same position is not going to be great. So he splits them in 2 halves, one up the ramp, while letting the Queens deal with the Hellions at the natural. Now the links are just going to be there to prevent the Hellions going into the main. Elazer loses 11 workers and a lot of circlings, but does kill the entire fleet of Hellions out on the map from HeRoMaRinE. So he's going to regain a lot of map control off of that. And at the end of the day, I'm not sure that it was too bad for the Circ player here.
No, that was better than I thought.
Than it was.
The only thing I will say, though, is the Hellions are so forfeitable as a Terran player when you're playing mech, right? Like, they're just going to come back. So it always feels like if the Hellions can get in to do any sort of damage like that, they're going to have a good time, as these Hydras need detection. Hello, Overseers on the left-hand side. Oh my goodness, this is bad.
That's not my microphone, that's my...
I was going to say
my throat making those noises. Yeah, that's actually, yeah. I mean, yeah, the Overseers were just not moving. They were just chilling, and then the army was getting booped, and there was a lot of damage to be taken from 4 Banshees firing multiple times at a Hydra each time. And yeah, that's going to equalize things very nicely for HeRoMaRinE, who is, like you were saying, he is going mech, so the Hellions are forfeitable. He's going to be very happy just continuing to build an army that can kind of just push out on the map at some point and just kill his opponent in one swift go. So if you're a Elazer, you have to not only not be taking damage, but also looking for those transitions where you're actually going to be able to get something like Neuroparasite or Vipers, right, to abduct the mech army and actually trade effectively with it.
Yeah. Oh, very true. It's bad. Like, taking this much damage this early against the mech is just going to be, especially when the Cyclones, right? These Cyclones are going to start kiting around and getting even better trades as well. So, as a Elazer, you would have liked to have had a more stable start. Now we come through. Blue Flame's going to be great against everything in existence right now, although there's just too many Hydras. As the saving grace of a Elazer, too many Hydras, although we even have tanks already shown up, so there you go. HeRoMaRinE is already prepping with a little bit of a stronger army than just the kite 'em and dice 'em sort of strat.
Yep, and Elazer is going to go for that Spire, so he recognizes the threat of the Banshees should HeRoMaRinE continue to add those in. I mean, Muta are the units that are going to be able to actually actively deal with those, so he's going to try to go for that. There is an Infestation Pit, but no Infestors made. Again, if you're transitioning into the Hive and you're up against this sort of army, there are a couple of instances there where if you just land the fungal onto the Banshees or the Cyclones, you're just going to demolish them because they benefit so much from kiting and from their mobility that fungal is excellent against them. So that would have been good to see. Not going to be the case this time around, so he's going to have to rely on positioning and yeah, just basically chill until the Muta can come and help against the Banshees.
Yep. A Hive on the way as well. The army of HeRoMaRinE working around the right, taking some creep spread. We've got the Banshee squad bottom left this time. There's a couple spores in this base, though, which is good to see, because one spawn just might not have cut it against this amount of Banshees. We're getting to that stage. Things are going to come rolling forward. The Cyclones get a couple of kills. They kite back a little bit as well, so they will continue to do decently. Banshees, they get the first spore. A couple of them went down. Apparently, some Hydras showed up as well, so nothing too much gained there.
Yeah, and that's the thing for HeRoMaRinE. He has to be very careful because they're very fragile units, but he can definitely outmaneuver for the time being. As the Spire is complete as well, we'll see if Elazer looks to make use of that. Supply very even, a lot of Cyclones still reinforcing here at the front. Hydras are pretty decent against Cyclones, but Cyclones are pretty decent against Hydras too. They kill each other pretty fast, both very glass cannon-y type units. Now with the Banshees to help here at the front, It's going to make it more and more difficult for Elazer to continue to hold on his ground. Is Big Gabe doing it? There's no tank fire involved at least, so maybe the Hydras are enough. It's close as 2 tanks arrive, but so do additional reinforcements in Link Hydra from Elazer.
It's kind of mesmerizing how much, like, Hydras rely on critical numbers, right? Like, they go from being kind of, like, amazing and can kill anything to, like, they can barely kill a thing. In this case, it was one of the rare scenarios where Hydras and another unit similar to a Hydra both trade out very evenly. And the fight actually was like, it was a really long fight for what these units were, so just kind of the perfect amount of numbers to give us an interesting fight. What a... Man, this series is delivering, cats. This has been great.
Yeah, that's good. And yeah, it's basically because it is such tight numbers that both players are willing to engage, right? Elazer is not willing to give that position. He knows he has reinforcements. And HeRoMaRinE could also at any point disengage because he could just go off of creep. So the reason we get that fight in the first place is that both players see the opportunity where they're like, yeah, I'm not sure. You know, I'm not sure who wins this. It probably comes down to the reinforcements and whatnot. And yeah, it's such a funny, interesting trade there.
What a wild time. Hellions show up. They're going to pick off that Ling just over on the right. More Cyclones coming up. The Raven continuing through with the +2 vehicle weapons and plane on the way. Cyclones locking on again, going after a few more of those Hydras.
Yep, Link's here to try and cut the distance a little bit. They're not as good at tanking Cyclones as they once were, of course, as now the Cyclone kind of locks on instantly, which means they shred through Zerglings. But they're very good still at surrounds because the Cyclone is such a fragile unit. A lot of Queens here, those are not going to be very good against Cyclones as their damage output is very, very low and the Cyclone can kite them forever. The Blue Flame Hellbats here at the front are going to turn their attention to Link, so they'll fry a few of those before going down. And yeah, the game will kind of stabilize, but again, this is HeRoMaRinE going mech and the Elazer not really able to find the opportunity to go into any sort of spellcasters or anything that will allow him to transition more easily. As I say that, those 7 Broodlords, that's gotta be the answer to everything that HeRoMaRinE has, apart from mobility, maybe.
Yeah, HeRoMaRinE definitely does have a mobility on his side, but you're kind of right? The 7 Broods are definitely a change of pace from Elazer, and maybe they are just the little bit of magic that he needs right now, so we will find out in just a sec as we have Hellions pushing forward, Hellions and Cyclones pushing forward. I mean, really, you kind of need to get some cores up against this. Wouldn't be surprised to see those start instantly in the production tab. We are building some Vikings, but not enough unless we're just going to dive forward and we don't respect the Broodlord's cats. Madness.
Wow. Yeah, I mean, beautiful. There's not enough on the ground. I think HeRoMaRinE deems it to protect the Broodlord, so jumps on the opportunity, kills a lot of them already. Now the Hydra Bane is here, but with those Banelings here, he could not have done that. And then the Broodlords are range everything, and you chip away at the army, and the tank fire is, you know, working with you basically. But without those Banelings here to zone out the Cyclones decide that they can dive in. Beautiful maneuver from HeRoMaRinE, beautiful assessment, and clears the great majority of the Broodlords. However, the tanks are not going to be able to partake here, and yeah, with Lynx coming up, it might just be enough to push the attack one more time here for Elazer. But yeah, that was a bit of a... I don't know if to call it a blunder or just good on the side of HeRoMaRinE to identify that he could do that. It's not easy to do.
That was wild, honestly. I mean, what a great call. 13 new Cyclones on the way up. What I love is that he believed in it, because there's a world where he makes the move, but he's already building Thors behind it. He believed, and he just never stopped building Cyclones. And he's building 13 at a time to the point where Elazer might not be able to keep up with that, actually. So, it could be a big deal. Cyclone's still gathering up on that right side there. And just seeing where we go next. Man, this series has just been delivered. I know I probably sound like a broken record on repeat right now, but quite frankly, it's just true. This series has been spot on. So many weird interactions and some great plays, honestly. As Cyclones now defend on the left, they attack on the right. HeRoMaRinE keeps the aggression up while making sure Elazer can't get too much done. But still, Elazer making the most of his units, burrowing up everywhere he can as well.
Yeah, and now he has this this Baneling force that can zone out the Cyclones. The Cyclones always have to run away, but you're not taxing the Cyclones enough because you only have 1 Broodlord left. So he's gonna have to find a full-on catch, diving now into the Planetary Fortress, maybe a little bit too deep. If you're HeRoMaRinE, I wouldn't mind him changing the angle of attack as well, just to the left-hand side, just so that you avoid any additional potential Broodlords, and just knowing that your opponent has been situated mostly on the right-hand side. So he's actually going for 2 prongs, just testing the waters on either side. And yeah, looking pretty good is HeRoMaRinE.
Yep, that Bane going down. We do have ourselves the Units continue to bow. A couple more Hydras going down. Bane's still running in. Units are going to back it up. Anti-armor missile coming through. Has been attempts to keep a denied base on the left side, but this is going to be true for the Zerg as well, as now Terran shows up and drones are dropping, Cats. I mean, this is one of those things you kind of mentioned, you know, the Cyclone's locking on faster. It's true to drones as well, so they're going to slaughter these as a few units show up. I'm not sure that's necessary enough. We split against the Banelings as well, and Elazer is just going to get worn on down in the end. HeRoMaRinE takes an impressive game. Really, that move against the Brutes was something spectacular, because
That was really cool.
it's just, I mean, these Cyclones are still pretty fresh units as well. The amount of times I imagine you've played Cyclones against Brutes, being able to make that kind of call of being like, right, this is it, like no hesitation at all. I can jump on these with units that aren't typically meant to fight the Brutes. I mean, just a great call from HeRoMaRinE, great play. And get ourselves readied up for a game number 4.
Yeah, for sure. I'm not sure if he had a scan there going or if he just kind of like YOLO'd in, but it was sad for Elazer because he definitely had the army to push that back and protect his Broodlords. It was just not there.
Yeah.
Right? So if he had a few Banelings or something like that, then it's so much more difficult to make that call if you're HeRoMaRinE. So brilliant call from him.
Yeah.
And it pretty much earns him the game. Yeah.
Yep. We're going to be heading into our next game here in just a second. Go says HeRoMaRinE ready, set Elazer. And yeah, we get ready to kick off into Golden Aura. So in we go. Next map coming in. And Golden Aura, definitely one where it's difficult to attack into your opponent. The ramps up into the base setup is really kind of pretty choked up. Even when you go low ground to take a base, the high ground bases around it kind of protect it nicely. So this map might give us a long one between these two as we get set up to go on, like I say, Golden Aura for the fourth map.
It should be a good one. I like the layout indeed. And yeah, I mean, Elazer is going to maybe struggle to find aggression here on this map. We'll see if he can. This a man on the bottom right-hand side. It is for Team Liquid, Elazer.
Top left-hand side. High red Terran player. This is HeRoMaRinE. Wonder what HeRoMaRinE brings out, because he played pretty similar games so far, right? Like he was kind of playing the 3cc into, you know, Bio a couple times. Then the third game's 3cc, but then we go to Cloak Banshee. Then he shows actually this is mech. So do we go back to Bio now, Cats? Because the mech game was pretty convincing. It was the least kind of back and forth between the two.
Yeah, and I wouldn't mind mech on a map like this one as well. It's kind of easier to set up. Though not the mech style that he was playing. I guess it's difficult to attack into the side of Elazer with Cyclones and whatnot. Maybe more traditional mech could be seen on this map. But yeah, I don't know. I feel like HeRoMaRinE and Elazer both have shown a decent bit of variety, even though it's always kind of in that mid-game stage, right? Like where they both seem to gravitate towards and thrive. Like we're not seeing them hold in, we're not seeing like 2 base timings, nothing like that. We're not seeing them just turtle up into the late game. We see them ramp up and then just start clashing at each other non-stop, and yeah, I love it.
Yeah, it's been a very entertaining series, just really bring the best out of each other in the mid game. Kind of get into late game, but with it's not been like camp out turtle late game, right? It's been very active. We've just about gotten some spellcasters up. We're still trading all over the map. You know, we see the tier 3 units for a couple of fights, but then we can't afford to build them again, so they disappear once more.
Yeah.
It's been fun.
Yeah, it's actually so wild. Yeah, some units make appearances and they disappear, basically, like you're saying, right? And then they never come back, never to be seen again. They're both so opportunistic, these players as well. Like, you know, like Elazer will jump onto every opportunity he can to counterattack once the medevacs are loaded. He knows there's going to be an unloading. He wants to be on the other end of that. The Reaper has found varied success. Last time around killing a drone, this time around barely not.
Just misses it. The Spore Crawler build was good to get there. So that is a job well done, at the very least, as our Reaper moving back out the front for a couple of moments. Just seeing where we're going to go. CC's coming up, Factory and the Reactor all coming in. Just getting things going right now as our Reaper going to jump back on this hatch.
Yeah, and I think this might have been a 15 hatch or something of the sorts with a very early pull from Elazer, because he actually skipped links altogether. So we saw Lambo doing something like this. before, and yeah, it's off of Gasless opening, so
Yeah.
I really love it. It saturates your natural a little bit quicker. We talked about it last time with Lambo, right? And it's it's a pretty cool build, and he did get the queens in time to not lose any drones, so gets away with that.
Yeah,
No links.
It is very cool. Is it weak to Cyclones, though? Because a couple of them on the way up, and if HeRoMaRinE recognizes what's going on, and he's like, okay, cool, here's my adjustment, and he starts building the Cyclones, it could be rough because there's not going to be any links that can kind of close the distance. And maybe this could be interesting as we do have more and more queens coming up. Of course, that's the benefit. You can have as many minerals as possible just to spam out them queens. So your queen count, if nothing else, is going to be looking pretty good.
Yeah, that's a good point. And I think the path of attack has to be through the middle there. The ramp at the third is very deterring for the Terran to attack into. So maybe that's kind of what Elazer is banking in on as well, is the fact that you can basically just defend the front here and have most of your queens situated at an arc here. And maybe that's enough to fend off Cyclones or any Hellion dives. He does have a ton of queens as well, as he pushes on forward to defend the Overlord that was otherwise scanned on the pillar.
Yeah, you can see the queens continue to drop transfusions. Can you imagine it was 2 more Cyclones instead of these 2 Hellions? I almost feel like that would have been such a great call against this, because the Cyclones can stay out of range of the queens for the most part. A little bit tougher when you go on creep, because the queens can obviously move forward a little bit more quickly. We are so close to killing so many of these queens that more or less out of transfusions. There's one. So yeah, I think that was the last one. So now queens will actually start dropping, and these 2 Cyclones are going to pick up value as the drones are going down to some Hellions as well. That's a 3rd queen, and oh no, all the drones are still transferring over. 4 Hellions are just going to melt, and now we're into the natural, and well, fortunately these Hellions are a little bit bruised up, because otherwise they would have found even more if this wasn't already enough.
I mean, yeah, 14 workers go down as well as most queens, and you have very little tech to speak of. Now just starting the Lair and the Roach Warrior, if you're a Elazer, this is a very, very painful position to be at, despite of what the supply says here. It's a wonderful job from HeRoMaRinE, and the Cyclones, I mean, I completely agree with you. If he had added 2 Cyclones instead of Hellions, it seems like such a good idea to whittle down those queens, because then you're spending the same amount of basically attention on the Cyclones, only you're doing double the damage basically, and you have to do the same movement in kiting. You don't have to adjust anything, you just have the space to add another 2. But he adds the two Hellions, and the wild thing to me is that he actually makes the space to make them work and kills 14 workers with them. So that, I mean, that's more than I could have ever imagined, and now Elazer is in a little bit of a world of trouble. His only saving grace is his opening was so greedy that he's managed to keep up economically.
Yep. No, that's true. I think that's what I was kind of thinking as well. It's like, man, it's almost like he was just able to build so many drones that actually losing some was kind of okay, like almost planned for. Obviously, still not ideal. But yeah, I mean, the problem is as well, now you've got no pressure on the map, so 3rd CC just comes in from the Terran in position straight away, on away to 1-1 on combat shield already, so as Elazer's getting roaches up to make sure he doesn't die, he's then progressing into melee upgrades, while, you know, HeRoMaRiNE's doing nothing but building units that are just going to help him out here. I feel like that maybe would have been worth a stim of 1 Marine to guarantee this Overseer kill, but he waited too long for it, and the Overseer gets away. Minor missed opportunity there for HeRoMaRiNE.
Yeah, at the same time, I mean, HeRoMaRiNE really situated himself here with his 5 barracks, full add-ons as well. So he's gonna be trying to put on the pain train, and for that particular attack, the best thing that Elazer could have is roaches with speed. So, you know, like in that sense, he has made the right calls here to try to stabilize off of Gasless, and maybe he could be able to. It's a scary attack coming from HeRoMaRiNE, but again, Elazer has the right pieces, if nothing else.
Marines unload up on the high ground. A few roaches begin to take some shots. The medevacs load back up and go to the low ground now as a couple of queens come forward. Got the spore crawler coming up right there. Overseer now goes down. It's supply block for Elazer. This is the mobility of the roaches being punished. We lost so many queens that even they don't have the damage output to stop these medevacs from hanging around so long.
Yeah, and that mineral line difficult to maneuver around, as there's like very few hexes behind the minerals, so the queens were kind of getting jammed on top of each other, and that meant no microing them back to save them either. So Elazer a little bit slow here to reinforce with the units, or to put the queens in positions or in the right positions, as he goes into a very fast, daring hive.
Yep. Gonna knock down a couple of those creep tumors. Marines on the right side gonna come through, and Roaches is gonna get forward to pick away to medevac and just stop that drop. I mean, again, HeRoMaRiNE is just diving you know, he's going after all of the queens, it feels like, at this point. I mean, Elazer is going to be missing injects, and that could be a big problem for him if HeRoMaRinE just hits a massive timing off the 2-2. Obviously, he does have a 4th base. It's not going to be like full commitment, 8 racks or anything like that, but even just like pushing with the army you have at that stage, at this point, is starting to become scary, the prospect of it.
Yeah, for sure. Elazer just finished link speed at 8 minutes and 20 seconds, which is insane. But now he has it, so that's good. Burrow now being researched as well. Bailing speed on the way. Hive nearly completed, so I mean, if you can get to Ultras, it will start looking good again for Elazer up until HeRoMaRinE has the next layer of tech and ghosts or liberators. So I imagine the Ultra Cavern has to go down here pretty soon.
Yeah.
3 Vipers as well. Nifty.
I like the Vipers and Adrenal straight away. Obviously feels like a good idea. Just going to see enough HeRoMaRiNE's coming through. A couple of corrosive bars going down. Roach Ravager is going to be there to push those Marines around just that little bit extra. So finding what we can for the moment. Just going to be seeing HeRoMaRiNE starts a drop on the right side at the same time. The Banelings actually do manage to close the distance there. HeRoMaRiNE not reacting as he should have done. Needed to be a little bit faster on pulling back there. That's going to be a few dead Marines that just never needed to take damage, and that's going to slow some of the momentum which he had for himself. So that's kind of what Elazer needs, a chance to kind of get through to the next stage of the game with something of a fighting chance.
Yeah, absolutely, and he has given himself a very good fighting chance here, as now the medevacs will drop a lot of these units and siege tanks, and Ravagers are obviously looking for an opportunity to pounce should they siege, but not going to be the case. So HeRoMaRinE with a little bit of a bait. A few misrallied Circlings are going to die here into HeRoMaRiNE's army, who is looking to apply a little bit of pressure with the medevac on the right-hand side as well. But Elazer, I mean, he's now getting the Ultra Cavern. He now has the Vipers, but that's kind of his only saving grace, right? It's really going to come down to these Vipers and what they can do. Parasitic Bombs go onto the medevacs, not nearly as bruised as last time around. It's quickly microed back as well. Luckily for Elazer, a lot of those medevacs actually activated their boost preemptively, so the next Parasitic Bomb is actually going to be a little bit more painful. And Elazer uses that opportunity to try to pounce onto the tanks, but with a very nice concave down this ramp, he's not going to be able to find too much, and HeRoMaRinE standing very strong here on the siege.
Yep, looking pretty good as he continues to kind of push up here slowly but surely. A couple of drones going down, dropping the right side, just a few units left, but still on the go, so most importantly, still finding damage. And again, with the attack on the left side not being cleaned up, what do you do? I mean, if you move too far forward, these tanks are going to have at you. I feel like there's no winning right now with what Elazer's got on this side, as we just see him trying to figure this out, man. There's no good way out.
Yeah, you gotta wait for those Ultras. I mean, they're on the way. There's 7 of them coming, and yeah, anything before that is just gonna be a losing fight. So he's gonna have to pay attention to the fact that he just lost a Bailing Nest. You wanna remake that one at some point. He luckily did take the top right-hand side of the map here, and he's gonna be able to saturate that. HeRoMaRinE is gonna move towards it. The problem for Elazer is he has no way to punish. Like HeRoMaRinE is gonna spot the Ultras, and he's gonna say, okay, cool, I'm just gonna load everything back into my medevacs, run home, and if you can't punish me right there and then, you know, you're not gonna be able to. Whereas if there was one Infestor right now, you kind of force the fight and you can clean this up and then go on the counter offense after having wiped this army. But HeRoMaRinE actually doesn't manage to load almost anything up. Only 3 Marines survive, and that's gonna give Elazer that opportunity to counter attack where he actually does get the wipeout on the army. HeRoMaRinE is scrambling to get Ghosts and Liberators, but Elazer is actually not crossing the map or trying to make anything happen with this.
Ghosts and Libs both great, of course, against the Ultras, so good to be kind of moving in that direction. You see medevacs of HeRoMaRinE still retreating back up to the top. Tanks, Ghosts, Liberator, and Medevac coming through. The 3-3 upgrades coming out. The +2 vehicle weapons coming in. Medevac on the far right side gets pushed away as well.
Yes, sir. Infestors now on the way, finally. Bailing Nest was remade as well. And the Ultralisk movement speed upgrade is coming up to a few links are sectioned off to deal with the tank on the high ground. So well done from Elazer. Very quick reactions as he attempts at trying to kill a Medevac with Biles. Not often a successful story, but Elazer has stabilized. I mean, if he can get another base, if he can get his creep spread out, this is still very much a game where it was looking very difficult for him.
No, I mean, no, he was in trouble in this game for sure, right? So he is he's back in it. I mean, that's kind of the moral of this series, cats, that players kind of get in trouble, they start to make some moves, and then the other guy gets in trouble themselves. I mean, it's definitely not been a series where you stick by your first assumptions. That is a Blinding Cloud on the back. Fungal Lands on the medevacs, goes trying to find their snipes, but the bio will, for the most part, have to evacuate. That one Liberator still getting some shots at the end, but will get corrosive pile down. Feels like Points HeRoMaRinE has just got a real kind of, point to make about not just lifting up and getting out. Even at the end there, those units are still just running along the ground. Anyways, he finally lifts, he finally leaves. And we will see ourselves, well, Fusion Core, more libs, more tanks. Really just maybe a few, well, he actually has 9 ghosts. So they are going to be good. That Infestor, no energy just yet, but getting into position for later on. And even just scouting as it burrows into that position.
Yeah, and this is where this map is so weird as well, right? Because it's so difficult to attack into this 5-base setup for either side, but it's also so difficult to take fights, say, for Terran out in the open here in the middle of the map. So it's kind of a difficult game to close out. If you're HeRoMaRinE, you have to be really careful. I'm not sure that this is the place to take more fights, but the Widow Mines and the Ghosts are gonna have to say otherwise. A beautiful flank from Elazer is gonna once again dislodge it, but this time HeRoMaRinE is ready to load into the medevacs and get away. One of the medevacs does die with like 7 units in it still. But yeah, Elazer not able to find the fungals on the flank. It could have been even much worse for HeRoMaRinE, but it was still pretty bad. And now the medevacs are really bruised as well. So next parasitic bombs are gonna be nifty good for Elazer.
Oh yeah, they are. You know it as the Ravagers, the Ultras, the Lings come through here. A couple of siege tanks starting to get knocked down. We are going to turn this around. The Ghosts come through as well to chase those units back over the right-hand side. It's just pushing that all away as a couple of extra libs continue in. Marine Marauder still in production. That advanced ballistic coming through as well as the army of Elazer retreats all the way back down the south.
Okay, on 3, we're gonna say who is winning this game. 3.
Whoa, I need a moment to think about that.
What? Oh, okay.
Nah. That's a really difficult question with this game. I don't think anyone's winning it right now.
It's very difficult to tell. Yeah, I was gonna let you guess by yourself like you did me last time. That was my plan all along.
Wait. Why didn't let you guess by yourself? You didn't hear me?
Yeah, I said Elazer, and then you said HeRoMaRinE.
No, I said HeRoMaRinE.
Right
I said HeRoMaRinE over you said Elazer. Yeah. Unbelievable. No.
Yeah.
I think I would say HeRoMaRinE. He's not really won a fight in a while, but he's got 5 bases against 5 bases. Now, Elazer just set up the gold, and Elazer set up another base. I think those are the game changers, and we've seen bases like that be the game changer in an earlier game in this series. So if you actually get those online and mines in those positions, I like it a whole lot more for him. As the Hurt Ultra does not take a Liberator shot there, so it gets away. Dropping the bottom left, is going to try and find that gold. He's not quite going to get rid of it just yet, though.
Yeah, I think this game is still close, and it will still come down to like an engagement or 2. And funnily enough, if this was Spirit maneuvering HeRoMaRinE, I'd be like, yeah, Spirit won this game. He's got it in the bag. But HeRoMaRinE is he is a little less patient than Spirit can be, and a little bit less adept at this particular stage that we're entering. So I feel like mistakes can still be made, but I definitely think he has a little bit of an upper hand.
Yeah, I'd agree. Lib Siege is up, Ghosts and Marauders coming up the ramp. A couple of creep teamers going down. Ourselves the bio. If we could just get a Marine underneath that Viper, it's already hurt. It feels like there's been a few moves like this where units just kind of donate themselves, but the snipes are making up for that as they come in big, hitting a lot of those Ultras immediately. Link counterattack is going to be met by a tank and a few bio units, so maybe that won't go too far. The space on the right side goes down from Elazer, and it feels like that's his issue. He doesn't really have a way to build up a bank. And if you don't build up a bank against a Terran, you're not having a good time, Cats.
Yeah, absolutely not. That is indeed the issue. I mean, the good thing for Elazer is that HeRoMaRinE keeps pushing out into this very wide open area of the map, so there's still an opportunity for him to take a fight. All of these medevacs seem to have seem to have been repaired, and now additional Vipers are making their way out onto the field, but they're not here yet. So HeRoMaRinE with a very strong position for the time being. Unit-wise, Elazer only has 3 Infestors to his name, as well as 4 Ultras that can really be the difference makers. There's no Banelings out there. There's no real splash. There's no real turn potential for an army of Elazer to be like, oh yeah, this is gonna wipe out HeRoMaRinE if he's not careful. That's just unlikely to happen right now. But the fungal is huge, and I mean, unfortunately, no damage to follow.
Yeah, just no support. HeRoMaRinE, I think this is what I was scared of, right? Like, he's going to be able to keep trading, and he's going to be able to rebuild behind it. And Elazer's army is still kind of relying on being scrappy. And we've seen moments where that's been fine, and moments in earlier games where that's been fine. But at this point, we're not at that stage anymore from HeRoMaRinE, and he's got the bank behind it to make sure it's not like that either. I think just the fact he went so untouched during this is really the issue, and now you see the Liberator's getting abducted forward, which is nice, but I mean, at the end of the day, there's still a lot more to be done than just abducting out some libs. These tanks are going to put in some work. The Vipers are all getting sniped down, so that's not fun. The Liberator sieging up, and we do just have ourselves a good chunk of bases still just mining. Uncontested from HeRoMaRinE. He's getting on top of mineral lines, getting on top of workers, and will just continue to push himself further and further ahead in this game 4 until that GG is